got the key to be free now, so let's be free now. I ain't gonna let the devil win, nah, never. I ain't gonna let the devil in, nah, never. Feel worried, that's the devil at work on God. I'ma put him in the dirt, in the dirt, in the dirt. I ain't gonna let the devil win, nah, never. I ain't gonna let the devil in, nah, never. Feel worried, that's the devil at work on God. I'ma put him in the dirt, in the dirt.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Hangout League podcast. This is going to be the first episode of our podcast. My name is Hunter Dial. I'm the COO of the Hangout League, and I'm here with Dustin Brown, owner, founder, head honcho, chief baseball guy, and fearless leader. And we are going to talk about all things Hangout League today. So before we get started, just want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Rawlings. We are a Rawlings endorsed collegiate summer league. Shout out to Rawlings, and also shout out to Pop Athletics. We are currently in Dallas, Texas, at the Pop Athletics podcast studio. It's a super cool studio, and Pop Athletics is an awesome facility. You will have access to Pop Athletics if you play for the Hangout League in Dallas this year, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So, Dustin, before we get started?
No, I'm just excited that we're here and we're doing it. We've done a couple podcasts in the past, but we didn't have adequate lighting and video, and we were lacking some production necessity. So to be able to do it and have it all, do it right, and have the video, have the audio, excited to have something to post.
For sure. So the purpose of our episode today is we're going to talk about the background of the Hangout League and the history of the Hangout League. We're going to let Dustin kind of tell his story, how he started the league, kind of give it his background. I'm going to kind of give my background, and hopefully you'll have a little bit better understanding of where we are and what got us to where we are today. So Dustin, without further ado, why don't you just take us through and give us a step-by-step, like, who are you and how did you start the Hangout League?
Just offer up biography.
Yeah, just get after it. Tell us
All right,
the story.
How much time do we have? Yeah, so Hangout League was originally the North Louisiana Collegiate League. We started that back in 2018. So I was playing college ball at Louisiana College. The previous summer, before my senior season, I went to Myrtle Beach, played in a summer league with two of my buddies, Connor James and Sully Martin.
Shout out to Sully if you're watching this.
Yep, he's a day one. He was the first podcast we ever did was with Sully. So we went and played in the summer league at the beach for a month, and it was wait, hold on, we're getting comments from. No, but go ahead.
Sorry, Chris, our producer in the background, is trying to say something.
Yeah. Make sure we're all dialed in.
All right,
So yeah, 2017.
Hey, this is real. This is live.
Yeah. 2017. We go play in a beach league. Come back to school. We have our fall. We have our spring, and I'd kind of been flirting around with this idea of a collegiate summer league in Shreveport, and there was currently a league already there, and it was kind of going downhill. Great people. It's just it was phasing out. So I wanted to continue that in Shreveport, and I had this big vision of starting a league down in Gulf Shores at the beach, but ultimately, being a senior in college, still playing baseball, that was a lot. So I started recruiting while still playing at LC in 2018. I was recruiting my teammates. I was recruiting players from other teams to try to put on a league. So just all very wishful thinking, and somehow we were able to get 35 guys signed up to play the first year. We recruited two teams, one from outside the organization, actually two outside of the organization. So we had 5 total, but 2 outside the organization. And I see our camera's going a little fuzzy, and I don't have the solution to that. Maybe I need to sit up. So, there we go. We had 5 teams that first year. And I think I need to stop moving so much, maybe. And so for 2018, 2019, 20, 21, and 22, we were hosted in Shreveport. The league had grown a little bit. We were around 65, 75, 85 players. And I was doing medical device, had a really good job. I didn't really enjoy it, but I really enjoyed hosting the NLCL. Like, I love the summers. I look forward to the summers. And, I knew for a long time it's what I really wanted to be doing full time. I just didn't know that was possible. And Cole Dindler was working with me. You remember Cole? Up in the press box, and he's 5 years younger than me, and he was just like, dude, why don't you need to just quit your job and do this? And I was like, man, that doesn't make a lot of sense. This isn't a career thing. But that seed had really been planted in my head for years, and I knew eventually that's what I wanted to do. And so I had a bad morning at the hospital.
Terrible morning. I know this story. We're not gonna get into details.
Yeah, I just had a bad morning. I was already pissed off. What wasn't where I was supposed to be. That wasn't where the Lord had called me to be. Is just the bottom line. And I basically said, I'm done with this. This isn't ever going to change. I can see that my situation's not going to change. So I'm going to go step outside, this box, and I'm going to go where I know I can do good and be fruitful and really make an impact and something I really know and something I enjoy. And so I quit my job in 2022. My wife started working in 2022. I quit my job. We bought a house. And so my back was completely against the wall. This time, actually, my last day would have been in about 2 weeks from now in 2022. And we started the Florida League, started the Instagram, started recruiting and all that stuff before I had found a field, before anything. I just knew like it had to happen because I had put all my eggs in that basket. So I ended up, long story short, driving down there, meeting with some coaches, realizing Gulf Shores wasn't going to happen. It was too competitive. But we could play in Pensacola at Pensacola State.
Yep.
And so then and there, that's where Hangout Florida was born. And like I said, we were previously called the North Louisiana Collegiate League, but
for some context, how many years were you doing the NLCL before you decided to quit your day job and just go dive headfirst into
that? Five seasons, I believe. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 5 seasons were just hosted in Shreveport, Louisiana. And that was the North Louisiana Collegiate League. And a lot of people they're like, oh, I haven't heard of the Hangout League. Now, more and more now, people are like, oh, I know who the Hangout League is. But we seemed new 3 years ago was just because in 23, we rebranded and changed the name to Hangout Florida.
Yeah,
Hangout
I remember a lot
Louisiana.
of people in Shreveport the first year we were the Hangout League being like, oh, what's this new league? I'm like, well, it's not a new league. It's an old league that we've rebranded and we're revamping.
Really? They were saying that about the Shreveport League?
Yeah, I heard several people be like, what's this cool new league?
See, I never even heard that. That first year in 23, I was in Florida. Most of the time I would come in on the weekends and like come to the field, but you were running the show. So I never knew that. That's interesting.
Hey, so let this be just a little sidebar here for all you young and hungry college kids who are watching this podcast who are like, man, I'd love to start a business one day. Sometimes you just got to take the leap and do it. I remember it's Dustin's dad, Ken. Shout out to Ken. I know he's watching this. At least I've never heard him say this, but Dustin always said that Ken said, you can make a living selling bottle caps if you try hard enough.
Yeah, his granddad told him that.
Okay.
Yeah, his granddad told him that. And I never forgot that. And my dad, when I told him what I was doing, my dad's old school, like, go get a job, work with your hands kind of person. So he didn't really understand, like, hey, how are you going to make a living doing this? This was in 2018. He was telling me this. He was like, this is too much risk. Like, you're taking too much risk. Kids are coming to play baseball and they're going to be here on your account. Like, you're going to get sued. And I was like, hey, sorry, 35 kids signed up. We're doing it. I didn't tell you for a reason because, I'm committed. Yep. And then when I was going to quit my job, he wasn't real sold on that idea either. But some things you just know. And like sometimes, when I started, I didn't know enough to talk myself out of it. And then whenever, I quit my job, I knew just enough, that I knew it was worth a shot. I was like, no kids, just got married. I can take the risk right now. Let's do it. And I just couldn't go my whole life working, doing what I was doing, especially.
Yeah.
I thought worst case scenario, I'd find something else. But that's what gets me out of bed is like doing this. I have the best job in the world because I know my skill sets outside of this aren't really things that I enjoy doing that much. So I might as well, make the most out of this. So that's what gets me out of bed. And so yeah, we partnered with the Hangout restaurant. If you've been to Gulf Shores, Hangout, that was in into 2022. I went down there and met with them. And they were giving us Hangout Music Festival tickets.
Super cool.
So we were like raffling off tickets to give to players so they could come down a week early, go to the music festival. We went with them, me and my wife, 1 year in 23 actually. It was just like a marketing deal, like, hey, sign up to play with us, and you have opportunity to win these tickets to the music festival, like one of the biggest music festivals in the South. And it just turned out to be a cool name, the Hangout League, and it just in the beginning, the reason was to kind of partner with the Hangout League and get those tickets. But then, naturally, I'm just like, that's the perfect name. That's what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so then that evolved to Hangout Louisiana. The NLCL turned into Hangout Louisiana. And then in 2024, it was natural, Hangout Texas. But yeah, I don't know. I probably skipped past a lot of stuff and spent too much time on other stuff. But that's the birth of it. It started in 2018 in me and Sully's rent house in Pineville. I have a picture on my phone of print out flyers. So you would text me your information and I would go fill out the flyer for you, and I'd have a folder full of flyers, name, school, phone number, email, jersey size, walkout song, player coach request.
Golly, paper. It's the wild west.
That was 2018. And I did that actually for a few years, but they would send me all the information. I'd go write it all down, keep it in a folder. And then when it came to like draft day, I'd go pull those out. I'd separate the pictures, the 2As. I mean, it was a very bare bones system.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it started. I called Coach Dukes from the rent house, me and Sully did. And I said, hey, this is what I want to do. We need a field to play at. He said, you can play the field. I want, free of charge. You can play at Northwood. So I was like, all right, we got a field. Now I just got to find some coaches. Then all my friends wanted to coach. So that was perfect. We were just graduating. I found some jerseys. And to this day, I have a nightmare every year on like the first week of May that
100%.
I forgot to order the jerseys, and we're not going to have jerseys, but that's literally happened every single year since the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, we hosted that first year, had 5 teams, 3 of our own. 2019, we had 5 teams. 2020, 6 teams. And it was like either 5 or 6 from there on. We started Florida. Now we have across 3 leagues in 2025. I think we had 23 teams.
Yep.
And starting a new location. So
yeah, which we'll get into here
I won't
in a later
spill
episode.
too much.
Well, sweet, yeah. Cool. That was Dustin, owner, founder, head honcho. My name is Hunter Dial. I'm the COO, and this is my 4th or 5th year doing something with the Hangout League. So my background is a coach. I played baseball with Dustin in high school, and then I, right out of high school, became a high school baseball coach. Was an assistant for a few years, took a head baseball coaching job at a small little 2A. Did not like it. I had the baseball knowledge. I was so immature, didn't know how to handle the kids.
You suffered a bit there.
I did.
That's where you did your hard knocks training.
Absolutely.
I did mine at a different route, but you did yours on the field.
I did. Honestly, looking back on that experience, I could do such a better job with what I know now, going back to be a head baseball coach. Anyways, I digress. From there, whenever I was a head coach, I started coaching in the Hangout League in Shreveport, in the NLCL in Shreveport. And then I did that for 2 years, and then I worked part-time for Dustin for 2 years. Once 1 year in Shreveport, I kind of managed the league, and then my second year part-time is when we launched Hangout Texas in DFW in Dallas. And that was a super cool experience. Shout out to anybody who has played in Texas. My heart is in Texas. And then after my head coaching gig, I got another job as an assistant at Northwood, our alma mater, where it's kind of funny. It comes full circle in some ways because that's where the first NLCL games were played. That was my last coaching job.
Yeah.
And I went from there and hired on full time, and here we are running the Hangout League every day. Absolutely love it. There's nothing better. It's a grind, but at the same time, it's doing what you love. And also, I mean, I have a wife and kid at home. Dustin's got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone who's watching this knows the grind that coaching at a competitive level is in the spring. I'm talking 6 nights a week. I'm talking getting home at 10 p.m. every night.
I just told Ann about that last night, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, she was joking with me, like giving me a hard time about going to. I help with a 13U. She was.
Yeah.
I was like, let me tell you. Do you know what a high school coach's schedule?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay, I'll stop. But she was just giving me a hard time. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I miss it. I miss coaching.
It's a grind for sure.
I loved coaching. I miss coaching, but I don't miss the grind. Not at all. And obviously, this job is a grind too at times, but it's fun, man. We hang out around here. That's pun intended. But
it's the best job I've ever had.
Yeah, it's
I've
great.
yet to talk myself out of it. So,
and we met a lot of great people too. I mean, my phone is like, and Dustin's phone even more. They're absolutely just slammed with contacts.
Chris's phone is slammed too.
Chris's phone is even more slammed with contacts. Shout out to Chris, our producer. He's our recruiting coordinator and our player liaison. A lot of you have probably talked to Chris. He's the man.
Or we'll talk to Chris.
Yes, very soon.
Man known by many names.
Absolutely. Well, cool deal. Well, I think that just about wraps up anything that we need to talk about today. Talking about our history. Is there anything, Dustin, you feel like we need to?
Did we hit everything on that page?
We did. We hit just about every single thing on our notes.
Chris, are we missing anything? Okay.
Cool.
We wanted to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a lot in a little time. I feel like we have some catching up to do. We've wanted to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
I know I've wanted the first time we got on a mic was in 2023. I got on with Sully, and we still have that podcast audio, but there's no video with it. And so, and we also just rambled for 3 hours. And so it was a blast to do, but it wasn't practical as far as just spreading the information, spreading the faces behind the messages and the names that, you get a DM on Instagram or you get a text message from one of us, like for a long time, we've wanted to put faces behind the names.
Absolutely. And we wanted you all watching to get to know us. And also we get asked so many questions on a day-to-day basis. And so one of the purposes of this podcast is to answer a lot of your questions. And so we'll be releasing a podcast episode, hopefully either every week or every other week. Just to kind of answer some questions, tell you a little bit about the league, tell you a little bit more about us. We'll do some interviews on this podcast. We'll bring in some former players, some former coaches, some league directors, and so it'll be really good. It'll be a really good thing. We're really excited about it. And we hope that you'll see us back on the next episode. Real quick, make sure that if you have not already, that you give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter. That you like this. That you. What's up, Chris?
Just making sure you're still on air.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, make sure you give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share. It's super helpful. We really appreciate it. And also, if you are watching this and you're like, I need to reach out to someone, you can go to our website. You can see our phone numbers, see our emails, and reach out to us that way. All right. So thanks for.
Just for anybody who's seeing this that maybe was interested in summer baseball, collegiate summer baseball, and ended up landing on this podcast, first thing you can do is fill out the registration on our website. So if you do that, someone will reach out to you within a few days, might be a week, depending on how busy you are. But somebody's going to reach out and be able to answer any and all your questions. But yeah, that's what this whole thing is about. Collegiate summer baseball, the Hangout League.
Let's do it. Thanks for hanging out with us, pun intended, and we'll see you next time.
Chris, we're off air.